Okay, welcome to this little tutorial about the fitting window. We will start with where to find it, how to optimize it, and what it actually shows you. Where to find is pretty easy. You go to the newcom menu, you go to ship, you go to this nice little ship icon with the 4 brackets around it. So that if you open it the first time, it will look a lot like this. The first thing you do is you open your hardware browser and your attributes. Second thing you do, just expand all the stats. So now you've got your little shippy in the middle with the slots you can put something into, and on the right side you got all your stats. That is pretty handy because if you change something you can see it directly. And on the left side is basically the little toolbox from where you can choose your stuff. Next thing, if you don't want to fit something out of your inventory into the ship and you just want to play around a little, you activate the simulation. You see that the ship you are simulating is going translucent and you get this nice little blue grid. Now you can play around with everything and don't have to watch out what you do, because if you exit the simulation, it is as if nothing happened. Let's show that. Let's get this out of the way. So, oh my god, you just unplugged all your rigs, and for those that don't know it, if you unplug the rig will be destroyed. Now it's, oh my god, I unplugged all my rigs, but the simulation tells you also, hey, something changed. You say yes, and see in real life nothing happens. Very important, don't mistake simulation in real time, because if you just want to try something else and you rip off this nice little T2 rigs, you will not be that happy. So, what does the nice little layout tell us? So, for starters, we will go for the layout and which slots are where, what they are for, and what you can fit in there. So if I'm finished, yeah, I'm finished. So, basic setup of the fitting window around your ship. You got in the upper left corner, you got your 3 rig slots for T1 and faction ships. You will only have 2 rig slots in T2 ship. Then you've got your high slots. Here's where your weapons and your active modules, mostly for attacking, and EvE go. Then you've got your mid slots. Oh, some EvE also goes into the mid slots, so it's not only in the high slots. Then you got your mid slots. They are most of the time used for everything that is tackle, for your propulsion mods like afterburners, micro warp drives, and almost all the shield mods go in here. Also, cap batteries go here, so everything cap related. Okay, not everything. Some of the cap related stuff also goes down here in the low slots. The low slots is normally for your armor modules and stuff like, for example, the damage control, or for assault frigates and assault cruisers, the assault damage control. So, how does this work? Basically, let's go for the rigs. We would like to do a kilo fit for a little bit PvE, so we need a little bit help with our shield, so that we either have more EHP, raw EHP, or what I'm going to do, I will put in purges. That will buff your passive shield refilling. what I just did there was, if you have one thing and you want to do 2 or 3 of that in the same fit, you can push Shift, left mouse, and hold left mouse and release. So you can just put 3 in there. What also is possible, just drag and drop into the ship. Next thing, we want to destroy something. So the Gila uses rockets. Yeah. One little point with high slots, they are divided into basically 3 things you can fit in there. You've got turret hardpoints, you've got launcher hardpoints. So for this ship, there are only 4 launcher hardpoints, so you can only put in at maximum 4 missile, rocket, or heavy missile, cruise missile launchers, something having to do with missiles. So let's see, missile launchers. Let's go for rapid light missile launchers and the T2. So again, either take it over and do drag drop. I really like the shift and release part. Now, if you think, there's one left, let's put another in. Nope, you can't. You only have 4 hard points to put launchers in there. So, what can I do with this? This is what you call an auxiliary high. So you can put in there like, let's see, a little E-War, so an energy neutralizer, which drains the enemy's cap. Or you can go for the drone stuff. Because this is a drone boat, this makes sense. So let's put in a drone link augmenter. This thing extends the range you can use your drones in. So this would be rigs done, high slots done. Now let's see what we can do with the mid slots. So as you can see, highest EHP at the moment it has in shield. So let's go for a shield tank. Let's see, let's go for the big guns. You will see why I do that with the holes between them in a little while. So, and now let's see, we've got a decent tank. Now, let's go for a little bit to EMP. And wait, there. EM what? Oops. So, okay. Now, as you can see, it's not that fast. 240 meters per second. Could be better. So let's put in. Ooh, you see, the game will tell you, oops, something's wrong. And then it will tell you what is wrong. In this case, we overestimated the power grid. So let's get that off. Let's try this one. Okay, so now we've got a nice fit for high slots, mid slots, the rigs. Last but not least, low slots. So in this case, I'm going for basically the standard. If you don't have anything to do to go into the low slots, just put a damage control in there. You will see why. 1 second. So you see, if I hover over it on the right side, that's the reason why you expand the stats. On the right side, you can see what the damage control will do with your stats. So it would give you a nice, decent 9000 EHP. And now to enhance our passive tank, our passive shield recharge rate, we go for the good old power relays. But nope, not power relays. Let's go for sheet flux. Oops. Hey, come on. Okay. So now basically the ship would be ready to start. Okay, I didn't get rid of my inventory and drone bay. So normally you now would start to put in drones, put in the missiles for the launchers, and basically that would be how you fit a ship. Some minor things to keep in mind. I just went over them, didn't explain. For example, why do I use this strange setup? Pretty easy. This is the normal state if you activate something. But there is also a second state, which is now indicated in red. It's the overheat mode. Overheat mode means you get a good percentage more out of something. So let's see. No propulsion mod 240, 244 meters per second. Propulsion mod 619. Propulsion mod overheat 807. Problem with overheat, as the name implies, if you do that, the module will build up heat. This heat will be distributed across the entirety of your mid slots. And if you put all these in heat, they will get the temperature of the mid slots pretty high pretty fast. And this is even worse if these three active modules would be right next to each other. So basically the passive modules in here act a little bit like heat sinks. So every time you've got the chance, especially in the mid slots, if you've got the chance to build in passive modules that act like heat sinks, do that. Okay, for the time being that I think will be enough. Next thing I will go for is explaining what this crazy column of numbers really means. So thanks for looking and have a good day. Fly safe.